talk about people that know what to do, not just in good times, but how to respond when times are tough. You know what to do, not when the choices are easy, but when the challenges are tough. And you know when you have to stand and be strong. And no one exemplifies that more than the president and founder of the National Action Network, the Reverend Dr. Sharpton. No justice, no justice, no justice, no justice, no justice, no justice. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? 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 Hug the person next to you, tell them you love them, to call Saturday morning action rally. For you that are here live at the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street in the village of Harlem, and for you that are listening live on 1190 WLIB in New York, we're glad to be here another Saturday morning for another action rally at the end of another action week and on our way into more action. I left here last Saturday and went to Alabama, where on last Sunday I was the keynote speaker at Brown Chapel, where it was the headquarters for the voter rights movement, and then we marched with John Lewis and others who had led that struggle and were beaten then to give us the right to vote across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. And we were glad to be a part of that. But the struggle continues. We won the Voter Rights Act, but we got many more battles to fight. That's why everybody should be with us in Memphis as we have that recommitment march. You can come with us as we will stand there under the balcony of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s room, where he walked out one evening to come down the stairs to go to dinner. The man blew his brains out because he was there fighting for us. We want to go to that landmark during our convention. Tens of thousands will be there. Martin Luther King III and our Elder Bernice King, two of his children, and I walked across Edmund Pettus Bridge together last Sunday. They're going to walk with us to the Father's site on that day. You can call right now, 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651, or you can log on to nationalactionnetwork.net, nationalactionnetwork.net. It's also been a week of various controversies. And I'll tell you one thing you got to do during controversies is don't get caught up in the controversy. You got to keep your balance when everything else around you is unstable. Where you can tell stable people is how they behave around instability. Where you can tell sane people is they don't act like everybody else acting around them. You know, if every time somebody you jumping, you ain't too balanced. You know, I told you a long time ago when I was a little boy, Bishop Washington used to bring us to visit the folk in the mental institution. And the way you could tell those that were all right from those that had problems is they acted all right. Now one time, you know, they back in them days, I don't know if they still do it, Dr. Richardson, they locked the door and leave you in there and come back and get you when they got ready. So one day they locked the door too long and people started acting up. And I asked Bishop Washington, what do we do? He said, we act like them. But see, you start acting crazy, don't nobody know the difference between you and the crazy folk. A lot of y'all y'all get in the middle of controversy, y'all start acting as crazy as the craziness. So I'm in Florida. I went to Florida this week. We toured 4 cities with W. Franklin Richardson III, who chairs our Florida National Action Network, building up to the Memphis Convention and dealing with the fact that we will not stand by and allow them to seat the Florida and Michigan delegations since they were ruled that they would not be seated. We're not going to let them change the game in the middle of the game. A lot of folk talking about it, but we went down there dealing with it. Will Rich now signed people up that will sign affidavits that if they tried to seat that delegation as is, we were going to court to file to stop that process. Going to do the same in Michigan. And in the middle of all of that, reporters, everybody started calling me about they got Spitzer. What did I have to say? Nothing. That's what I got to say. Nothing. I tell you, I'll be acting crazy for crazy. Well, what do you mean, Reverend? What do you mean? Well, they caught him buying prostitutes, maybe laundering money, flying down $4,000 an hour and all of that. Good. What they got to do with me? And just are spectators in history. Is that the visionaries never accept nothing but the vision. Blind man never accepted it because he was ready when Jesus called. You and I keep worried about where we down. You can't ever accept being down. That's why at the end of the Bible, John was on the island of Patmos, prisoner, isolated, put off by himself. Somebody went over from that New York Times of that day and said, John, you persecuted, you isolated, you marginalized, you're all alone. He said, yeah, that's what you say, but I see a new heaven. I ain't gonna give you the demographics of the island of Patmos. I'm looking at something else. I see a new heaven and I see a new earth. And those of us that march and those of us that agitate and those of us that fight is because we won't accept be in the backwoods of this society. We see a new heaven. We're going to make us a new earth. I know they laughed at us. I know they scorned us when we walked from New York to Albany. But on Monday morning, when a blind black man puts his hand on the Bible, when they call his name, we can stand there in good tidings and we can say our faith that brought us through Howard Beach, our faith that brought us through Bensonhurst, the ones that you rejected, the ones that you cast out, the ones you thought wouldn't be nothing. One of our sons, handicapped and black, will stand up and have to take your state and put the pieces together. You'll have to take the shame down off your Albany courthouse. You disgrace the state, but a blind black man will return you to dignity, not because he's black, not because he's blind, but because there's a power in him that taught him that his faith would make us whole.
Others can do what they want to do. That's their business. Other civil rights leaders, for various reasons, refuse or can't take a stand or have to go along with the administration. That's their business. But I must say tonight that I know that justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.